Thank you all very much for being here. I'm going to address this probably to Mr. Dropik and to Ms. Rose, but I want to talk about Haskell University. We have seen significant needs over a long period of time. We've worked hard to help Haskell address those needs. It's been a challenge because of changing leadership. In recent times, we've had seemingly no capability of getting any assistance from the Bureau of Indian Education. I asked the last Secretary of the Department of Interior for meetings to discuss Haskell numerous times without any success. And the conclusion was that we thought we'd take a different path, or at least test the waters for a different path. And I think Haskell is such a valuable place, such a unique place, such support across the country, somewhat regardless of where I am in the nation traveling. When I'm visiting with tribal leaders, there's always stories about Haskell from them or their family members, and there's a memory and an understanding and appreciation of an asset that, in my view, and I know in yours, needs greater attention. It's the only tribal nations college. Provides Native American students with unique opportunities to pursue tuition-free higher education in an environment that honors and prioritizes Native American heritage and culture. I mentioned the challenges that they have faced. We decided to try a different track. We have released a discussion draft and have been gathering information from the tribal community. And this month, I intend to introduce the Haskell Indian Nations University Improvement Act. This legislation will grant Haskell a federal charter, thereby separating the school from the BIE and entrusting governance to the Haskell Board of Regents, which will be comprised of tribal members nominated by BAA regions. I'm grateful for the support of AIHEC and NIEA in endorsing this legislation. It seems to have broad support from across the country, and certainly all the tribes in Kansas have indicated this is a path forward, and we're going to do everything we can to see that the legislation is passed, but beyond that, and more importantly than that, see that it makes a difference at Haskell University. So I want to outline that because we'd look forward to tribal community support in this legislation, and we'd ask for your help. But I also wanted to ask, with the expertise at this panel, could you speak to the value of passing this legislation, the Haskell Indian Nations University Improvement Act, and separating the university from federal control? Mr. Dropik.
If the senator's okay, I would defer to Ms. Rose to start, being that this is for sure her area of expertise, and I'm happy to join in afterwards. Miigwech, appreciate that.
Thank you. And I'm going to fold in an answer for Chairman Murkowski as well, because her previous question was on flexibility. And that's what your legislation provides, is an opportunity to really think about flexibility. And I want to draw your attention as well to the statement that you made previously about the Department of Interior, because simply moving our Indian education programs from the Department of Education to the Department of Interior and assuming that they have anything or any knowledge of education is a rot decision. I have worked with many secretaries of Interior who were surprised to find out that they have education under their purview. So maintaining our programs at the Department of Ed with expertise is something that would be vitally important. But in specific answer to your question, our board of directors recently passed a motion in March in support of the concept of your legislation, and we were very excited to do so. Our board has talked quite a lot about the benefits that your legislation will provide to Haskell and frankly to the entire TCU community as we work together to support the students and the faculty to ensure that things that just happened, like our staff being frozen or challenges to funding streams because of changes in administration, might not happen. So we stand firmly committed with you and to work with your staff to ensure that the legislation is as strong as it can be, and you have a TCU community that is in full support. So thank you.
Thank you for those statements. As we begin, perhaps midway. Sorry. I'm new on the committee. Perhaps midway in our efforts, as we were trying to find ways to improve Haskell, the announcement of layoffs of staff occurred. We think we now have everyone who has not voluntarily left now returned to Haskell, and we're pleased about that outcome. But it is, and I've had a really good conversation with the Secretary of Interior when he, as a North Dakota governor, had experiences with tribes and tribal education, and I'm hoping that we can develop a relationship with the Department of Interior that is helpful in advancing this cause.
We would agree. We do not believe, and from our conversations with the department as well, that letting the staff at Haskell and Sippy was not premeditated, right? It was not part of the plan, and they've been incredibly responsive in ensuring that they made the course correction and turned around and got the staff back. So as soon as we were able to educate them, really let them know what was happening, I think they course corrected quickly and are looking forward to continuing to build and to have strong relationships with the institutions. We've also been working with the department in thinking through the legislation. And so I think they're really great partners to stand beside you and ensuring that the legislation is as strong as possible. We do have a couple of recommendations, and we look forward to working with you to strengthen it.
I'm not surprised. Instead of asking just for your support, instead of just asking for support, I should have also, we'll take a few more suggestions and methods to move forward before we introduce the legislation. Now, sir?
I appreciate that opportunity. Just would say that NIA stands to help. We also support, obviously, any time that we can get tribal communities to really be, living tribal sovereignty. That is, it fills us up, continues to make our ancestors proud, and really why we're here. And so being able to help support anything that you need in terms of questions or outreach to tribal communities and any ways that we can be support. NIA is also appreciative of your work and really want to continue to help support, improving tribal sovereignty. And then by byproduct of that tribal sovereignty, being able to improve outcomes for the community.
Thank you for saying that. I should have thought about tribal sovereignty. It's been an issue that I've been engaged in and something that's really important to me. And this is, until you said that, I hadn't thought about this as another step forward toward determination by Native Americans about the future of themselves and their children. Anyone else? Yes, ma'am. Doctor?
I just wanted to say thank you to that faculty of Haskell and the various educators who volunteered their time to go back to work, even though they had been relieved of their duties. I just wanted to acknowledge the great contributions that they made. I mean, to me, we read about it in Alaska. We got worried at first, and then we saw, the great work of, those dedicated educators that went back. So I just wanted to acknowledge them.
Doctor, thank you for doing that. Thank you.